Hello, good morning, everybody. It's 18 in the morning here in Ohio. And today I'm going to answer a fun question instead of a controversial question or a political question or a conspiracy theory question. I'm going to actually do a fun question today. I got an email from, let's see here, definitely somebody I know that knows that I really enjoy the Andy Griffith Show. So this question is kind of right up my alley, and it's a fun question. A lot of people love that show. The Andy Griffith Show is probably one of the most famous shows in television Hollywood history. Um, just a great show. Let me see the email. Let me double check the question. The question is Mayberry a real town? Mayberry off of the Andy Griffith Show. Is it a real town? Well, that's kind of, you could leave it up for interpretation. I'm pretty sure there are towns in America named Mayberry. But if we're talking about the Mayberry from the Andy Griffith Show, which aired from 1960 to 1968, the answer is no. Sadly, no. It's not a real town. Many people believe that Mayberry is based off of a town by the name of Mount Airy, North Carolina, which is the town Andy Griffith was born and grew up in. A lot of people believe, it's based on that town because that's where Andy's from. But even Andy himself actually said Mayberry is not even based off of Mount Airy. It's not based off of any real town in America. The creators of the show, the Andy Griffith Show, the writers and the creators, the directors, did not intend for that town to be based off of any real town. It's literally supposed to be a fake, fictitious town. Very similar to the cartoon The Simpsons. We all know in the cartoon The Simpsons, they live in a town called Springfield. It's not based off of, to our knowledge, it's not based off of a real Springfield. It's just a fictional town called Springfield. A lot like the Andy Griffith Show, Mayberry is based off of literally fiction. It's a fictitious town. It's not a real town. Hence, that's the reason why everything in that town, if you ever notice, is so perfect. Everything is perfect in Mayberry. Like I said, Mount Airy, Pennsylvania, Mount Airy, North Carolina, is the hometown of Andy, and that's where he grew up at and was born. And they even have that town even has Mayberry exhibits. Like they have a fake little jail cell, which is supposed to be, the jail from the show. They have a tour and a place where you could stay, Andy's old house. They have his old home there. And they even have those old police squad cars that you see from the show that give tours of Mount Airy, North Carolina. And they basically take advantage of it because they know, hey, Andy's from here. And, the town does kind of look similar to Mayberry. It's similar. It's not exactly like Mayberry, Mount Airy, North Carolina, but it's similar. But Andy himself said before he passed away that Mayberry was not even really based off of Mount Airy. It just wasn't. Mayberry is its own fictional town. The guys that wrote the script aren't even from North Carolina. They're from, I think, either New York or Los Angeles. And it's supposed to be, obviously, Mayberry is obviously supposed to be a small southern town, but they didn't even originally want it to be North Carolina. it just ended up slowly becoming North Carolina because Andy's from there, from North Carolina, and Andy wanted to implement different towns in the show, like I think Raleigh, Mount Pilot. Those are two towns, two cities inside of North Carolina. So it ended up becoming public knowledge that Mayberry is supposed to be a town in North Carolina, even though it really wasn't. It wasn't meant to be, but they kind of turned it into a town in North Carolina. Um, but yeah, Mayberry is not based off of any particular city or town or neighborhood. It's all made up and meant to be its own perfect Hollywood community, its own perfect fictional Hollywood community. It was never meant to be um, based off of Mount Airy or Mount Pilot or Raleigh, North Carolina. It was never supposed to be based off of anything. But a lot of people think that Mayberry is, a real town in North Carolina. But it's not. It's not a real town in North Carolina. Um, like I said, Mount Pilot, or excuse me, Mount Airy, which is where Andy is from. It is similar to Mayberry, the fictional town, and they, like I said, they have tours there. The police squad cars where you could take a tour all around, and they even have a place called Snappy's Lunch, I believe, which was in the Andy Griffith Show. And they have a Floyd's barbershop. They do have all the same things, a lot of the same things that the fictional town has. Um, but it's not the same. Excuse me, guys. Got a dry throat. I was drinking water to get my throat better. But yeah, Mayberry is definitely fictional. And to answer, also, I know the emailer asked if is it based on a particular city or town, and the answer is no. It's not based off of any particular town. Um, in fact, if it weren't for Andy Griffith himself wanting to implement different towns near Mayberry, named Raleigh, which is in North Carolina, Mount Pilot, which is in North Carolina. If it weren't for Andy himself, even to this day, Mayberry would not even be referred to as a city in North Carolina. Um, just how it is. I mean, but he implemented certain things and made it known that it's supposed to be in North Carolina. Also, another thing off the topic, but for anyone wondering, the show itself was filmed in Hollywood. It was filmed in Los Angeles on a back lot. The outdoor exterior scenes were outdoors on a back lot in, I believe it was Culver City, California. All them outdoor scenes there were used for many other films. They even did some Star Wars films on that same backlot of, where the town square is in Mayberry. And then the interior scenes were filmed in Hollywood, Los Angeles, in studios. It was on a sound stage. Yeah. The entire Andy Griffith Show was filmed in L.A. The outdoor scenes in the interior scenes, all in Los Angeles. None of it was filmed in North Carolina. And in fact, also the famous lake where they would always go fishing, that was I think it was the Franklin Canyon. I think it was Franklin Canyon Reservoir, which is right by close to Hollywood, Beverly Hills. So like the fishing scenes, all of that was filmed in Hollywood, Los Angeles area. A lot of people thought that some of those scenes was really in like a small country town like North Carolina. But no, none of it was filmed there. That's just a side note. I know this ain't the question that was asked, but just for anybody that was curious, and wanted to know where it was filmed at, it was filmed in Los Angeles, the entire Andy Griffith Show. But as far as I'm going to end this stream here in a second. But as far as Mayberry, no, it was not based on a real town. It's not a real town. It's a fictional town, and it's not even based on anything. It's supposed to be this little magical place where everything's perfect. Mayberry. And that's pretty much it. And also, for all you guys that love the Andy Griffith Show and everything about Mayberry and the amazing Hollywood show, leave a comment down in the comment section down below telling me, some of your favorite episodes of the show, how you feel about the show, if you like it, if you don't like it. I love it. I personally think it's the greatest sitcom show in history, but that's just my opinion. I think it's the greatest comedy sitcom. And also, guys, before I wrap this up, if you'd be so kind to like the stream, leave a comment below, subscribe. That really helps the channel out a lot. I also don't ask for donations, so I'm doing this for free and for fun to help and to help people who have questions and they want to know something. I'm here to answer the question. So yeah, guys, that should just about do it. If you have any suggestions or video requests, stream requests like this one, you could go to the About section and email me, or leave your question for your request down below in the comment section. And that's going to wrap things up. You guys have a great start of the new week post-holiday. It's now Tuesday. The holiday's over. Memorial holiday's over. And yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace out, guys.